episode 45, part 3 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. Remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. And as we are all about promoting sports and sports travel, we've partnered with Moran Sports and Travel to give you this brilliant offer for the Dubai Sevens on the 1st and 2nd of December. So over and above the rugby, you get the full Dubai experience, which is your nighttime barbecue, your desert safari, and your Dow cruise. This and much more coming up on your screen. I'm Demima Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus Kenyana.
So, part 3. On to matters other than rugby. We've had a lot of rugby, so on to football.
Yeah.
Premier League A wrap-up 2017-2018.
True. It's week 9 English, my goodness. Week 9 review and week 10 preview, right?
Yes.
Yes, so you have Chelsea beating Watford 4-2, Manchester City beating Burnley 3-0, Huddersfield beating Manchester United 2-1. Everton losing to Arsenal 5-2, and Tottenham Hotspurs drubbing Liverpool 4-1. I think save for Manchester United, all the other big teams, and I'll say big teams and include Arsenal in this conversation, had a very good outing. Week 10, we have West Brom taking on Manchester City. We have Bournemouth taking on Chelsea. We have Liverpool taking on Huddersfield. We have Arsenal, hosting Swansea. And we have what I think is going to be the tie of week 10. Manchester United taking on Tottenham Hotspurs at 2:30 p.m. at Old Trafford. That's going to be on the 28th of October 2017. Again, I think the big teams are going to come out victorious. But again, for Manchester United versus Spurs, it's going to be a tricky one, especially Spurs having drubbed Liverpool 4-1. And United losing, and maybe they're beginning to have problems. But anyway, I think the fact that Manchester United are playing at home, I think they'll put Spurs to this one.
Well, I think if you look at the table right now, I think the normal names that you're used to, the big names, the table started to shape up to gravitate towards the normal names that you're used to. Save for Liverpool. Liverpool, I don't know what's going on with the clubs inside. Manchester United, the downfall has begun.
Wow.
Wishful thinking.
Chelsea, I think they got a bit lucky this weekend because Watford they've been killing big teams. I think they've been slaying. They've been the Slay Kings. Yeah, because it was a big scare for them. Chelsea, but that's what champions are made of, I believe, because they really grinded that win out of them. So let's see how it's going to pan out. Manchester United, Tottenham, the big one. Let's see. But my money is on Tottenham.
Okay. Yeah. So for all our F1 people, we had the USA Grand Prix, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And this was a very big one, simply because it was almost a title decider. But we never got to see that. Lewis Hamilton did eventually win. Sebastian Vettel coming in second, and third was Kimi Räikkönen, Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel's teammate in Ferrari. This leaves Hamilton 66 points away from Vettel. 75 more points still to race for in Mexico, down in Mexico. So, but it's all said and done, I believe. Hamilton has taken this one. Unless it doesn't finish the next two races, and Vettel wins both. Said and done.
It's a done deal.
Okay, so moving on to basketball, we've got the ongoing N.B.A. How are the teams looking for you?
I think it's a bit early to really predict how it's going to pan out. However, the defending champions are having a very tough start the season. So thus far, they've lost 2 games, only won once. But let's see how it's going to pan out, because this is the preseason. Sorry, this is the season. We want to see how it's going to pan out for the playoffs. They use this to iron out the skills, sharpen everything they need for the playoffs. So, let's see how it's going to pan out. Still, we're waiting to see how the Western Conference will turn out.
Just a few things to mention. I liked, especially in the opening game, Cleveland Cavaliers versus Boston Celtics. I liked how Derrick Rose played, but he's now injured.
Already.
Dwayne Wade also put up a good performance. LeBron James will always have his numbers up. For Celtic, Kyrie Irving, not yet there, but I think as the season proceeds, he'll be able to get there. Gordon Hayward is now out for I think the rest of the season. He broke his ankle. That's Cleveland and Celtics. Golden State Warriors, as Ngus has mentioned, defending champions, not too convincing in the early exchanges. Oklahoma City Thunder, Jesus. I'm not convinced from what I've seen. But again, as you're saying, it's too early. They lost the clutch to Timberwolves at home at the Chesapeake Arena recently. So not yet. 3-4 games in for most teams. I don't think we can call anything yet. LA Lakers, Alonzo Ball is having a problem there. But again, as we're saying, it's too early to call. I guess just for N.B.A. fans, we're happy that the season has begun.
I wonder what Cleveland will do. Now they have Isaiah Thomas out till January, and now Derrick Rose, who's prone to injury, is already out. I wonder how they'll play around the point guard position.
We just wait and see. We just wait and see what Tai Lu has in store for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our bonus topic. Today we're going to discuss the fact that SportPesa had launched their Tujiamini campaign.
Yes.
What do you think this is good for sports? Obviously, I think it's good for sports, obviously, because if you don't believe in your own people, then who's gonna? What do you think?
As you amply translated it, we need to believe in our own people. Because I think in Kenya, sport is one of the least untapped resources that we have. And this campaign is more of, it's not just for SportPesa, if anything. They're trying to bring in a lot of corporates, a lot of stakeholders in the sporting industry to try and bring them together to build the sports and various disciplines that we have in Kenya. The intention, as you said, is to make Kenyans and our various corporates believe in our own sporting ability. Remember, we have a lot of talent in Kenya. And I was just looking at the website and how it's going to work out. This thing it's a brilliant idea in the sense that if I was to spot someone in a dark corner of Kenya, I'd just snap a photo of him, write something about him, post it there. These guys will get together different organizations that they have. If this guy thinks it's like a rugby player, if I see some potential of this guy playing some fantastic rugby, they'll approach like the union now, get some clubs to go see this guy, give him the opportunities. I'd relate this to how in the Western, the most developed countries, these guys spot their talents quite early, from as young as 7 years of age, 10, and then they're put through the systems, and their sporting ability is really nurtured in a way that we have never done it here. And yet again, Kenya is still competing against these people, and we are beating them as well. Someone who starts playing rugby at 18 years, still playing against someone who's playing rugby all his life, and we're still beating these people. So this is it will open up the sporting culture and really put us at a very high level in the world stage as well, to really improve our standards.
I start by saying, SportPesa, you are late to the party. Three Quarters Podcast has been doing this for, I think, 46 episodes in. 46 weeks, in. We've been talking about the promotion of local sports and having our people, like Kenyans, people identifying with their own local product at first before going to identify the Manchester Uniteds and the Arsenals. In broad, as Ngusa said, it's a very good initiative by SportPesa. But I'll focus on one thing that I'd been having discussions with people even before we started the Three Quarters Podcast. They'll be adopting a model called public-private partnerships, either 3Ps or triple Ps or PPPs. So basically, it's normally where corporate organizations there's a cooperative agreement between the public sector and the private sector to develop some things. It's happening in Kenya as we speak, but from a different angle, like in real estate, for example. So you have Ngusala is a contractor. I come and build an estate. I'm a private citizen. I come and build an estate, and then I sell it to the county government. So that's what they're calling public-private partnerships. Now they want to take it up in sports. Well, that's what SportPesa are hoping is the model they're going to adopt for this Tujiamini campaign. It's good because, there's a lot of red tape in government and bureaucracy to get some of these things approved. In terms of, look at this construction of the 5 stadiums that we've been hearing since 2013. So you see, if I have a PPP agreement coming in place, and that's some of the things that Tujiamini is trying to talk about and bring about. If I have a PPP agreement in place, what happens is, I as a corporate, SportPesa, Safaricom, Tusker, come and construct the stadium, and then I sell it to the government, and the government now takes it over. I might have like 5 years of running it, but then eventually it's going to belong to the government, and it's going to belong to the country as a whole. What it does is that corporates have very high standards as compared to government. And I'm just thinking from an infrastructural perspective. I'm not really thinking even from the marketing and everything. So I think this Tujiamini campaign is very good from the PPP angle. The other things I think we've mentioned time and again on the Three Quarters podcast in terms of how corporate can get involved in sponsoring of sports, and how sports needs to be commercial in Kenya or commercialized in Kenya. And as Ngusa said, like it's an untapped market which can bring you billions of shillings. Look at SportPesa in itself. So all in all, I think it's a good move by SportPesa. And all I just hope is, number one, we get more corporates identifying with it. Number two, we get the our very own people identifying with the local sports. As I told you, I find it very hard to understand how somebody will sit down and name for me the All Blacks team. First 23. And
Plus the old technical
bench. But he cannot see, he doesn't know who Papa is. Or Dominic Habimana. So
only Papa knows the father.
He's the father. So I find it, I never understand it, and I hope that this Tujiamini campaign can settle some of these things and have our people identifying with local sports at first.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Nash, especially this thing about depending on the national government. Sports is too important to leave it for the national government.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, so remember, I mean, we're not saying don't support guys out there. Just remember, support your own as well. Support your own first, Tujiamini.
Yes.
So remember, guys, you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jimmy Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jerry Goose, Kenyana.
We're skipping next week, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we are.
So yeah, guys, we take a little break next week, but we'll be there the week after that.
We'll be back with flatlines.
Yeah. So remember, guys, you can find us on Facebook. Like our page on Facebook. I was going to say subscribe again. So remember, guys, you can like our page on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And these words today.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, remember, you can like our page on Facebook. Subscribe to our... Wait. All right. So...